Hey, sports card collectors and investors. I hope everyone is having a great day so far. We are coming up, I think this actually might be the 200th video that we have put out. So excited to kind of hit that little milestone, and here's to another 200, another 2,000 videos. We're going to keep them coming. For those that are new to this channel, we come out with daily videos on all sorts of collectibles investing, a lot of sports card investing talk, personal finance topics in general. We're really trying to have kind of a well-rounded channel, and so we're excited that you've joined us. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and be prepared for daily content from this channel. So thank you again for joining. Today we are going to talk about basketball cards, and I mean, it's crazy times, guys. I mean, I just got word that I didn't just get word, but I heard about it last night, that players are talking about maybe canceling the season, the rest of the season. It's getting to the point where, things have picked up steam as far as the protests. I think the players are trying to figure out, the best way to be a part of that. So they postponed games. I don't know if the games today are postponed. I don't know. I did hear that the Lakers and the Clippers voted to cancel the season, and then I heard that the other teams did not vote to cancel the season. I think there's still ongoing discussions, so I don't believe that there's any real finality to it as of this morning. I did see that there's meetings going on today, so hopefully we'll have some clarity. And so it'll be interesting to see how it affects cards and the sport as a whole. We'll have to see how it shakes out. But we're going to cover 5 cards that are trending up and down. I'm using the Card Ladder Data Tool. As I say in all my videos, the Card Ladder Data Tool is not the end-all be-all for data. Market Movers has a tool. Card Genie is another good app that allows you to track your collection. Then they also utilize eBay sales to help kind of give you some insight as to what your collection might be worth. So lots of tools out there. Try them all. Figure out the one that's best for you. I'm using the historical data here through Card Ladder to kind of go through these, and we will go ahead and jump right into it. So the first card I'm going to talk about is the 1991 Upper Deck MJ PSA 9. And this one, so the reason why I wanted to cover this one, I'm very, very interested in, this one falls in the junk wax era where there was a lot of these printed. Now, if you look at the pop chart, in PSA 9, there's only 678 of these, which, yeah, it's not extremely scarce by any stretch, but I mean, if they printed hundreds of thousands of this card in 1991, the fact that there's 678 in a PSA 9 still feels kind of low to me. Now, a lot of that could be that people just have not sent them in to be graded. There's probably a lot of these sitting in binders, out there. And so I guess the curiosity for me is, will more and more people start sending these in to get graded, which of course means a higher graded supply, or will they not? Are these just collectors that are just like, what, I don't want it graded, I'm just gonna keep it? And then the other part of it is how many of them just got lost over time. I remember I owned a few of these. I have no idea where they are. When I was a kid, I owned them, and look, this is almost 30 years ago now. So that's something that intrigues me a lot about the junk wax era, is how many of these cards are in the garbage? How many of these cards are in, how many of these cards are in landfills? And so, yes, there was a zillion of them printed, but how many are left is kind of what I want to know. And then of how many that are left, how many of them are grading out in a PSA 9 or 10? So interesting stuff. Anyway, right now this card is at $28, and I'm looking at the cost of grading, and the cost of grading is going up, by the way. So at $28, it's kind of like, hey, if you're an MJ fan, I get that it's a very common base card and it's from 1991. But it's still a really cool looking card. I remember in this set, there's Larry Johnson rookie cards that I used to chase when I was a kid, and the LJ cards are awesome in this set. There's a few cool ones in there. So if you're a fan of Larry Johnson, or you just like how these 91 Upper Deck cards look, check out the 91 Upper Deck Larry Johnson rookies, because he was an absolute beast during his day. He was a beast in the 90s. This card, it's $28 now. It was as high as $46 in June. I'm sure they probably got some sort of a bump during the Last Dance documentary. But this is one, if you're an MJ fan, and it's, we're talking about basketball cards that are under $100 in this video, so this falls into that. So if you're a collector, as an investor, is this going to be $1 million card one day? No, it's not. There's just too much supply. It's a base card. But if you're an MJ fan, you're looking for some of those older cards, this could be maybe something that falls in your price point, especially for a graded copy and mint condition at a PSA 9. All right, next card I want to cover. This one actually surprised me a little bit because I thought it would be more expensive. It's a 1986 Fleer Dr. J in a PSA 8. So when I'm looking at this, I would consider this falling into vintage. I know people will argue with me about that, but especially for some of those, the 20-somethings and 30-something-year-olds, 86 is getting back there. I mean, 86 is a 35-year-old card almost at this point. So, and this is an iconic set. This is the Michael Jordan rookie set. This is Hakeem Olajuwon rookies. This is Karl Malone rookies. There's a boatload of Hall of Famers came out of this 86 Fleer basketball set. So very, very popular set, iconic. So it's not a rookie card of Dr. J, not even close. Dr. J's rookie is 1972 tops. But the fact that this falls into, a iconic set in a PSA 8, this is now selling right in the $68 range. So it's very affordable for a graded vintage card of a all-time great player. In the beginning of August, it was as high as $96. So it has gotten higher than $68. But again, if you're looking for just collecting or maybe just a long-term hold, on these types of cards, I mean, it's $68 entry point. That's a great looking Dr. J card in the most iconic basketball set in a fairly high grade at PSA 8 for that time period. I don't think that there's, with a card being 35 years old, how many raw ones are laying around that are going to get a PSA 8? I mean, and then you factor in the cost of grading there, $68. I'm actually upset that I haven't picked up any of these. I'm probably going to take a very hard look at how many are out there that I can look at after this video. All right, next up we've got 2018 Trae Young Hoops in a PSA 9. This is one that's kind of, Trae, there's a lot of people I remember, have said like, hey, why buy Trae Young right before the bubble starts? Because he's not playing in it. His cards are probably going to drop a little bit, over the next couple of months. And we have seen that with this card. It looks like at the end of July, this was an $80 card, and now it's right in that $49 range. So if you're big on Trae Young and you're looking for rookie cards that are affordable, this is it's a PSA 9. Trae Young rookie, it's right at $49. So if you think that he's going to be the next Steph Curry, maybe he moves on from the Hawks at some point, or maybe the Hawks become a good team over the next few years, who knows? But this is a very affordable, graded Trae Young rookie card right there in that $49, $50 range. All right, next up, this is a guy that some people are hot and cold on him, and this is kind of one of those young prospects where if you're prospecting for basketball players, he comes up a lot in conversation. It's Coby White, and this is the 2019 Prizm base Coby White in a PSA 9. This card at the end of July was as low as $29. There was sales as low as $29. Now it's about $59, so it has rebounded some. And maybe over the next couple of months, depending on what happens with this NBA season, if the NBA season just gets canceled, maybe these drop some. I mean, we could say that for all basketball cards, really. We don't know what the impact is going to be. I say maybe they could drop, maybe they go up, kind of like what happened with COVID. Maybe they start moving up. We really don't know until we get into it, but this is another one where if you like Coby White as a prospect, Prizm obviously is the hottest set in basketball. So his base Prizm in a PSA 9 is right there in that $50 range. Affordable. All right, lastly, I'm going to tackle one of the guys that I love collecting, Steph Curry. And this is one I've been trying to pick up, and not just Steph Curry, but Drew Brees and Prizm Silvers, I guess is what I'm getting at. Prizm Silvers. There's not a lot of these that have been graded. There's 56 of these 2019 Prizm Silver Stephs in a PSA 9. They were as low at the end of June as $24, but again, these are sporadic sales because there's only 56 that have been graded, so there's not a lot of them out there. Now they're about $50, but I really like that value for Steph. And again, because people love Prizm Silver so much, yes, of course, it's not a rookie card, it's not a second-year card, but it's a graded Prizm Silver Steph. I do think the Warriors are going to rebound strongly. They've got the number 2 pick. So hot take here, I think the Warriors are actually going to move that number 2 pick. Just because it's not a strong draft class, I think they're going to try to package that pick and send it off and try to add just like one other player that they think that can really get them over the top in the West. The West is ridiculously deep now. I mean, the 8 seed Trailblazers are a very legitimate team. The 8 seed Trailblazers were a 3 seed last season. So the West is just so dominant that the Warriors, they might be looking at that number 2 pick instead of getting a young guy and a draft that people are kind of hazy on if it's going to be a good draft. I just have this feeling they're going to package that up, send that away, and get a player that is a win-now guy for Steph and Clay and Draymond to bring in another championship. I'm speculating on it. I don't know. I don't have any inside info. But I would not be shocked at all to see them do something like that. All right, guys. Those are the 5 that I decided, that are trending that I thought would be cool to talk about. Do you have any of these cards? What do you think? What are your thoughts on basketball cards? If the season is canceled, I mean, we're in uncharted territory. If the season's canceled, you might think, oh, well, prices are going to drop. But that didn't happen during COVID in April, May. It didn't happen. They went up. So what do you guys think? Where are we at with this stuff? I appreciate your feedback. I'll get with you in the comments. Thank you again for joining, and we will talk to you again soon.